keynote speaker for this evening. I refer her as a pit bull in heels. Yes. She says, "Ow, if you are not going to be held accountable, I'm not going to be your friend." I remember I saw a clip of her trending on TikTok, and I'm like, this is what I talk about when women are given leadership roles. Often in time in a society that is male-dominated and driven, women are not given a platform to become leaders. And once they do, societal pressure and the status quo becomes, oh, she's bitchy or she's evil, blah, blah, blah. But nothing is ever said about a man. Now, when she steps into the room, you will know. Yes. Mama Kati is in the house. You will know Masutana Wako Kaking is in the house. Or they told Musali Botswana is in the house. And you know, lady of style and stature, not only does she have qualifications and so much, she's got years and years an array of, you know, dealing with so many people from students to the industry, but nothing will ever be taken away from her because she's got a heart of gold. It's because of her that we are gathered here. It's because of an opportunity, our Teviso's friend, who linked on to the team at Moja Love, who I absolutely adore. So a couple of them, afraid to talk to them, but it's okay, this is why we're here. But it is an absolute delight to welcome the incomparable Professor. Are you ready? Yeah. Let me get it right. Okay.
So I'm sure many of you who are following me on social media will know that I'm busy. I've been working hard to get Botswana citizenship. I'm working so hard. So tonight I've been recording all of it. Anyone who refers to my name is data that I'm going to use in my submission to the Minister of Home Affairs to say I deserve. In fact, I have already, just make it official. So I recorded you there. You can't know so much about someone who's not a member of the country. So surely I deserve that. So Director of Ceremonies, Me Kuitimang Morekisi, Permanent Secretary of Ministry of State President, Me Bonolo Kumotaka, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mr. Tebogo Matebesi, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture, Ms. Shombi Ellis, CEO, National Arts Council of Botswana, Directors of Government Departments, Captains of Industry, chairpersons of Film and Television Associations, esteemed practitioners of the Botswana creative industry, members of the media, good evening. I bring you greetings from Moja Love, from the CEO, Mr. Obritau, as well as the chair of our board, Mtate Dali Tambo. Barakili Dumedise, Bantumile, Kurkele Zamael. You know the lingo here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for us this evening to be part of this momentous occasion, which marks a significant milestone for the Botswana creative industry as we launch educational series for Moja channels on DSTV. At the outset, I should confess my delight at being invited to Botswana so many times, but this time to launch an educational project that is very close to my heart, a television series named Scala, locally produced and unaltered. Scala is, of course, education. And I'm here not only as director at Moja Love, but also as an educator, someone who's very passionate about education, believes in it, and knows how much it can change lives. That Scala showcases that we are all beginning to recognize in the most practical way that education is central to the success of a whole range of other human endeavors. Director of Ceremonies, Program Director. Our own reconstruction and development efforts and interaction in the global village depends largely on the progress we have made in educating our young people through the power of television. Of course, television gives us an opportunity to educate beyond the classroom. Of course, try as it might, any government on its own cannot achieve its nation's education goals. Governments need to harness the energies and resources of their whole nations. It is precisely for this reason that as Moja television channels within the DSTV platform, we saw it fit to license Scala television works of the acclaimed director, Thabiso Marutlaneng, of D-Zone Productions in Botswana. Bagaetsho, as you may be aware, Botswana today are influenced by demographic goals which are based on the principles of empowerment, participation, and citizenship. At Moja Love channels within DSTV platform, we are aware that the 5th President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency President Masisi, has persisted on pledging to support young people in the creative industry and to diversify the local economy. I'm also informed one of his top priorities, therefore, is mindset change, especially the creative, full of young people who constitute the majority of Botswana's population. I'm also reliably informed that young people in Botswana make up 60% of the population and are therefore a priority to the developmental agenda of Botswana. Program Director, I'm intrigued by the fact that Botswana has put in place numerous interventions through its new National Arts Council geared towards bringing the creatives into the mainstream of the economy. Very encouraging too is the realization that effective and free education prepares young people to be responsible, enterprising individuals who can contribute to economic development. Indeed, the power of education extends beyond the development of skills we need for economic success. Therefore, another reason why we acquired Scala is for the purpose of repositioning not only to commercialize the Botswana creative industry, but to increase critical content for our 10 million viewers across the African continent. We at Moja Love looked at Scala and we loved it. And we knew that our viewers would love it too. Because Scala is an African story. And Moja Love is the home of authentic African stories. It is important to emphasize the fact that we are a home of African stories and not a home of the African story or an African story. Because there isn't just one African story. There have been many periods in the present and past in which parachute journalists and writers rushed to the authentic Africa to tell the real African story. Even though they may have been rewarded with accolades, they were still chasing a mist, a phantasm that never existed and never will. Because there is no African story, but just diverse stories of Africa told by Africans, such as Thabiso Marutlaneng. In the same way, there is no African problem, just a multivariate set of global dilemmas that impact on the lived experiences of African people. Africa is not a homogeneous continent. In fact, it is the most diverse continent on the planet. The top 20 most diverse countries in the world are all in Africa. That is the reason why a singular storied African identity does not exist. The adjective African may be the most tortured of all adjectives. And it is us as Africans to get it right. Ugandan TV journalist Nesi Kuchinkura, who won the first BBC World News Komla Duma Award for African-based journalists, explains her dilemma when she's asked to tell the African story. And I quote, "The system of storytelling on Africa is too often incomplete, stereotyped, and spacious. Media reporting on Africa rarely focuses on everyday matters or the curiosities of daily life. Rather than the African story, there are very many African stories. And what I can do as a journalist is to tell some of them. Africa is not rich or poor, educated or illiterate, progressive or archaic. What Africa is depends on which part of it you are referring to. No single story can adequately reflect that, but a multiplicity of stories can and should broaden our received wisdom about the continent. With more platforms and opportunities than ever before, there has never been a better time to challenge that confusing and costly concept of a single African story, close quote. So we at Moja Love use the space and opportunity we have as a channel to tell the stories of our people, unapologetically, boldly, and well. Not the story people expect to hear, but we speak and show our truth. After all, to tell a good story in and about Africa, we must know Africa and Africans. And Moja Love is a channel for and by Africans. Since the beginning of time, storytelling has been an important event in African communities. Through storytelling, questions were answered, history was conveyed, and lifelong lessons were taught and learned. Storytelling holds immense significance for us Africans, as it serves as a powerful tool for preserving history, culture, and identity. It plays a vital role in connecting people of African descent to their roots and helping them understand their heritage. And of course, stories are very powerful, as you can see with Scala, as we are watching. They help us make sense of our problems, our cultural complexities. They assist us with solving problems, and when they connect deeply enough, stories can change the way we think as individuals and how we behave. So I believe that storytelling wields great power over human behavior. And this is the reason why we at Moja are committed to telling African stories and go around the continent looking for talented African individuals who can tell our stories authentically and well. And so my hope is that while government crafts curriculum policy and makes education accessible to all, what happens in the context of schooling, we all should understand that what happens in the context of schooling depends on the people who are in the school. And I think more than anything, Sgela it shows that. You have the curriculum, it's approved, there's policy, there's things, there's textbooks, there's things that teachers are supposed to teach. But in the midst of all of that, there's what we call the hidden curriculum, something that happens very powerfully in school, whether we like it or not. I have to say the school in Sgela can be anywhere on this continent. In fact, it can be anywhere in the world. I have seen schools like that in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, in Swaziland, but I've also seen them in London, in New York, in the DRC, and I have no doubt every African country has at least one school like that. Sgela challenges us to think about the difference between education and schooling. We have no doubt at Moja Love that Sgela will get attention from both advocates and critics because of its gritty depiction of school life, and that is exactly what we want. As you know, we at Moja Love are not scared of criticism. We take it, we ride on it, we monetize it. It's about time that we bring to the open what happens in our schools, because that's the only way we can have honest conversations about what really happens in our schools. Bahaitu, this is a happy occasion to be able to celebrate an important development in the growth of local content shot in a learning environment. But of course, this speech will be incomplete if I do not say thank you to my good friend, Retiro Khanelo. I mean, when you hear how Tiro and Thabiso started a conversation about this at the airport, I don't know, you probably thought Tiro must be joking. How can this happen? And it happens, and the partnership, look at where the partnership has brought us. Tiro introduced us to the work of Thabiso Maretlaneng, and that is the reason why we are here tonight. And that's the reason why this relationship is starting. We look forward to sharing many unforgettable moments with our viewers on Moja channels as they consume this exciting and entertaining content from Sean D Productions in Botswana. And please, guys, this is our production. We must sell it, unapologetically so. So let's make it trend, like in Botswana and in South Africa. It is our content. If it succeeds, it opens a way for many other, talented individuals from Botswana and elsewhere on the continent. So we are determined to make it a success, and I'm inviting you to join us in making it a success. With these remarks, I now have the distinct honor to declare the television series Scala officially launched for Africa to watch. Let me thank you for your attention, and may God richly bless you.
Amazing.
Another warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And I bring the chair. Wow, what a moment. Thank you so much, Professor Mamuketi Pakeng, Director.